Well, for 23 years I've been in love with writing code. Or at least I thought that I am. I really thought that writing code is my ikigai. You know, the Japanese concept where you get paid for what you love to do, and what you love to do has a meaning on the world. Until November 30, 2022. At that point in time, OpenAI launched ChatGPT. And I played with it just a bit, of course, as anyone else in this room. To understand what I'm going to tell you, I need to introduce you to BrainFuck. BrainFuck is a programming language was invented for the reason to have sex with your brain, let's put it like that. What you see here is a hello world written in BrainFuck. I tried for several times during my career to learn BrainFuck. I failed. I failed miserably each time. So, November 2022, I asked ChatGPT to program for me a tic-tac-toe game in BrainFuck. And it did it in one try in a couple of minutes. And I said, wow. Then, okay, I've moved to all the other technologies that I had on my to-do list to learn, and I didn't have the time to learn. Like, I don't know, at AWS, write websites, whatever, queues, everything that I want to ever learn, and I didn't have the time. I couldn't sleep for weeks at that point in time because I just spent time with a tutor who was so great at teaching me stuff and doing things. And I was scared like hell. It was like, well, for 23 years I had a job. Now I no longer had a job. There is a machine who's doing my job way better than I will ever be able to do it. And it was a couple of months of writing together with ChatGPT, asking ChatGPT to write code while I was still on the architecture and high-level topics, until I had a breakthrough and I realized that I never liked writing code ever in my life. I thought I did, but I didn't. When you develop a software project, it's like that. You have an idea, you have the code, and then you have the final product. What I was in love with is this, the idea and the final product. Writing the code is something that I had to do in order to get the results, but I never liked writing code. And now I tell you, I'm living my dream life. I have a lot of AI agents writing the code, do the boring jobs that I really don't like doing for me. And me, the human, I can do the cool task. Those kind of things that I really enjoy doing. And I really think that this is going to happen for everyone in this room very soon. And I think it's happening already, and I think you're feeling this already. I'm Pierre Espino. I'm into the emerging technology space for like 20 years with a sweet spot on AI. And today I'm going to show you a bit of how the future might look like. I'm not a wizard. Probably my guess might be wrong. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to focus a lot on the things that we can do today. In 1 month or in 1 year, it could be way more. But we'll see when we get there. AI is not from today. It's 1966, it was Eliza. It was something like a therapist, written in rules, whatever, and it was able to talk to you like that. Have anybody in this room played with Eliza ever? Oh, quite. One. Good, great. So it was 1950, Turing vision, then a bold prediction which says, everything is going to be solved in 3 years. That was happening like 1954. It didn't. And now 2022, we talk about generative AI. That kind of AI where, for the first time in human history, I would dare to say that we have a software system, we have a machine who kind of got a bit of human power to reason. It's able to mimic the human reasoning for the first time in human history. And now we're going to dive a bit deeper into how those software systems are working, because it's really tempting. You see, ChatGPT and all others chatbots are so good at mimicking the way we humans talk to each other, so that it kind of trick us that, there is something very smart out there. It's not. Behind ChatGPT and any other AI, it's not a database. It's very tempting to believe if you ask it, give me the capital of France or give me anything, it will just give you an answer. So it's very tempting to believe it's a database. It's not a database. It's not the overlord. I hear so many times, wow, it's going to, I don't know, conquer Earth, it's going to kill us humans because it's the great. It's not. It's just numbers. And to understand that, I will just start with a very simple system. Let's say that I want to build an AI system which is able to detect fruits. Like I'm showing an image of an apple, and it's going to tell me this is an apple. I'm going to show an image of a plum, and it's going to tell me this is a plum. If I want to build that, I start with a lot of numbers. Like, I don't know, 1 million numbers, let's say. It really depends on how many fruits you want to detect. Let's say 1 million. Those numbers I choose randomly. Like, I simply pick some numbers randomly. And then, I show to this system just numbers, I show an apple, and I ask the system, what is this? The system will not know, obviously, it's just some random numbers, and will do a random guess. And I'm going to tell the system, no, this is an apple. And I do that like 1 million times, or 10 times more, and again. And at that point, those numbers in my system somehow start to organize themselves in such a way so that they create something like a parallel between the real world of fruits that we have here in the real world and that numeric space. That numerical space somehow captures the essence of our very reality. Well, when we talk about AI, generative AI, and ChatGPT or whatever other chatbots, it's exactly the same. We start with a lot of numbers. We push on those numbers all the information we have available in this world, like Wikipedia, whatever, all the internet, all the books in the world, all the images in the world. And those numbers somehow, they organize themselves in such a way so they capture somehow, they start to understand the way we humans speak. And what really happens there is that if you think a bit that we humans, we use sentence, words, and phrases to capture knowledge. So what happened during the training is that ChatGPT and all the others AI systems, similar AI system, learned, captured the human knowledge. Because we used to store knowledge on Wikipedia. And it learned one more thing. It learned to mimic the way we humans speak. It's really good at filling the next word in a sentence. And now, the next thing I want you to realize is that when you think of something, you have a voice in your head. Speaking and reasoning and thinking are so closely connected so that I dare to say that AI systems during the training, they somehow started to get a bit of the ability to reason, as we humans do. And that's all. ChatGPT and all the others AI, all they did, they somehow created the parallel between the real world and the numerical space. And now comes the magical part, I would say so, even I'm a scientist by nature. Let's say that I'm here in the real world and I want to invent a new drug in the pharmaceutics. The way to do it, like the regular way to do it, is to hire a team of scientists, and 5 years later, after a lot of trial and error, you find your drug. What if you start from the real world, from a space that you control, you know it, then you go into the numerical space of the AI, and then you use math to travel to that numerical space. And you come back to reality with your drug. And I'm not selling you bullshit. January 2023, AI has designed a bacteria-killing protein from scratch, without human intervention. I dare to say it's the first time in human history when we have a system which exhibits creativity, because this is what it's about. It's able to create something from scratch. How it works. It's really interesting how it works. At least I find it so interesting. For a long time, I wondered why, when I'm talking to ChatGPT, it just gets me one word at a time. You know, it's Lisa writing on a keyboard. And then I realized why, because it's built in such a way. And I'll show you. Let's say that I'm using this request, I'm pushing this request to ChatGPT. What is happening? Well, this request is being placed at the input of that numerical system. And the first word in the response comes there. This is the first word. Now this word comes back to the input, and everything gets another pass to the numerical system, and I have the next word. And again and again. And this is why ChatGPT is like typing on a keyboard, because it types on an internal keyboard to create the next word in the response for you. Why I'm telling you all this? Because in order to use efficiently a system like ChatGPT or any other AI, it really helps to understand what is behind. It really helps to understand that it's not magic. It's not a system which knows everything. So next time ChatGPT hallucinates and gives you a lie, you will call it a lie, it's really worth remembering that it's not a lie. ChatGPT is just a bunch of numbers which has no real understanding of what truth and lie is. It really don't know something. It just fills in the next token in the sentence. That's it. So it's up to us, the humans, to go towards that AI system and ask it in a way so that we really lower the chance to get back hallucination and instead get something that is useful for us. It was until some time ago, like 1 year ago, it was that LLM, large language model, like ChatGPT, which was lonely in the sense that, and I'm pretty sure that we all use ChatGPT now like this. We have ChatGPT there running on your machine. You have something in your logs that you don't understand, so you copy-paste that something from the log, you paste to ChatGPT, and just tell me what is here. ChatGPT says, well, I need you to go to this router via SSH and run this command for me. So you copy-paste that command, you go to the router, you run that command, you get the log, you go back to ChatGPT. Actually, you are somewhere in the middle like this. You are the interface to the world for that AI. AI lives in your computer, and you are that little slave that does things for the AI. AI tells, run this command and give me the log, and you do that. And again and again. This is how we use ChatGPT. Anyone in the room who does that right now? Super, super. There is a better way. There is a better way. And it all started like, I don't know, 1.5 years ago, when somebody smart, not me, someone smart, I mean really, said, well, what the human does here is not really that smart. It's just something that is really dumb, actually, because it's nothing more than copy-pasting stuff and running commands. So why can't we code a tool runtime, like write code to do that, which is going to be the interface for the LLM with the real world? And when the LLM needs to execute a command on one of your routers, it doesn't have to tell you, the human, to do that for it. It just tells this to the tool runtime via specialized language, of course, via API. And we have something like that. ChatGPT says install packages, whatever, and the tool executor executes that command and gets back to ChatGPT the output of this command. Something like that. You have the LLM, you have the tool runtime, and you have the outside world. And that tool runtime is able to execute commands on the real world in your environment, like trace root, SSH, MTR, whatever. It can execute everything. It connects to your router CLI and there run diagnosis if it needs to do that. Being always directed by the AI system, the LLM. Before it was like that. Now it's like that. The LLM is out of the cage, lives near that tool runtime, and it's a system. And what we have here is an AI agent. An AI agent is an AI system like ChatGPT with tools that can actually interact with the real world. And this is so powerful because it can do stuff like that. I have something in my network which does not work. I have an AI agent with a lot of tools, and I'll tell that agent, please investigate what is happening here. And that agent is working for, like, I don't know, 30 minutes, running thousands of commands behind the hood just to diagnose my problem. Me as a human, I'm still able to do that, but it would take me half a day. It can do that in 10 minutes. And I'll show you. But first, AI agents are no magic. You'll hear a lot of salesmen probably, well, my AI agent, no, it's no magic, really, it's something very, very basic. Remember that always an AI agent is an LLM, large language model like ChatGPT, linked together to a tool executor, which executes code on behalf of that LLM. That's all. And now, just a very simple example for you in your companies. An engineer body support agent. You get a call to the support people and they need to do something. They either run those commands by themselves or they simply have an AI agent which they ask, well, customer says that fiber is not working here, please investigate what is happening. And while that agent is investigating for a couple of minutes, the engineer can do something else. And then go back to the agent and stuff like that. That's a very simple scenario that I've built in a lot of companies. It is here now. The thing with AI agents, yeah, they're great, but you need the developer to implement this for you. Because it's always, okay, you have Python code there, you have JavaScript code, you have the LLM, everything needs to be glued together somehow. It's a cost, there is effort, and they are not that flexible, because once built, it's an app, it's a software app. If you want to make it better, you need to hire a developer again. So another smart guy, the guys from Anthropic, in January 2025, this year, they say, well, why not create a protocol for those tools and have something like Lego? Lego-like tools and agents, so that you can take a tool I wrote and you can plug into agent he writes, or plug to another agent there, or plug to Claude AI or ChatGPT. And then you can build your AI agent for your company the way you want. Because anyone in this world can write tools. You pick any tool you want, you put it together and it works. And I prepared a demo for you, but this is going to be at the end. For now, I'm just going to show you some screenshots from that demo. Here I'm going to Claude AI. You know Claude AI, it's like ChatGPT. It's exactly the same. And here I have added a connector to this AI agent I've built, and you'll be able to play with this at the end of my presentation during the break. I've added a URL, and you have that URL. I confirm that I trust this connector. I hope that you're going to trust me. And then I have all these tools available. Those are fake tools. I mean, they're not interacting with the real network. There's some dummy data, there are some dummy routers, whatever. But you have those tools there. And then I've asked Claude to investigate why ASN is experiences connectivity issues. And what it did behind the hood, it ran like 10 minutes executing all those commands in a sequence. All these commands, 10 minutes, like this. It first said, well, I want to get the session for this node here. I want to understand what is happening. It got the recent traffic, it got the open tickets, troubleshoot, RPEC, whatever this is. And in the end, it get me a report after a couple of minutes, like that. And it told me, well, this is the root cause, and what you need to do now, you need to do that. And you also need to tell to the customer about what is happening. It goes to the system, to my system in my company, and told me, you need to contact via email those guys here. And I said, yeah, please send an email here. And it did just that. It invoked a tool behind the hood which sends email, and it was like a couple of minutes in a single UI. I never left the Claude AI UI. I always stayed there. And it did everything for me under the hood, but I was still in control. For example, here, this step, if I was not happy with those investigation results, I could always tell, no, I think you did a mistake here. Please check again. And it would do exactly like that. I'm still in control, but it's like having a lot of workers for me that does that low-level work that is boring, and I hate doing it. Now some other scenario, and I'm not going to stay long here. Let's say an AI engineer in plain English. I'm asking queries in natural language, and it does everything under the hood for me. Goes to system, check logs, whatever. Root cause analysis, you've seen this already. Multi-vendor config translation, I have a router with some scripts, and I want to convert these scripts to another router produced by another vendor. You can do that very easy with AI. Vendor ticket assistant, you have something from Cisco, and it runs this for you. BGP config validator, so that you never push something wrong to production. Like a runbook that is created for that specific incident you have there. network diagram generator, technical report writer, network documentation, RONOG reducer. And this is my last slide, demo time. Please scan this QR code, and during the break, feel free to play with the system. If you have Claude AI, it's going to be very easy, like you just add the connector there. If you don't have Claude AI, it's even easier. I've built a UI for you. You just click, you log in there, and then you can interact in natural language queries with a system which would show you how it would be if you would have used an AI agent in your organization. It's fake data, so do not provide real data. The data we're working on is fake. But still, nevertheless, you'll get a feeling how you're going to work in, like, let's say, 1 year from now. Thank you.
We've been actually doing the same thing, and also using Cloud AI, because that was the one that was performing the best way instead of like LLMs. Like ChatGPT to generate like general things, but also like technical agents, so we using like reports and troubleshooting and so on. But I would say that you don't know that's pretty easy. I can kind of see it, it's a lot of work that you do, especially with the phone. Prompt engineering is something that is getting a lot of traction. Even though there are not that much good prompt engineers so far, but like a single word that you prompt or a single cloud or a single symbol that you introduce in the prompt is changing completely the way how the LLM is providing you the result of the action that you need to take. That's the first thing, like you can easily convert to the from one to another. It's not that easy. Usually, you can ask them to choose for a command from microchip, for example, which is something completely different. Yeah, so there is a lot of information that you need to provide the input in order to write the right things, right, from the right approach.
Yeah, it is just like that. You should never use the knowledge training. You're telling me I'm using Claude AI as it is there, and I'm just asking it via prompting to do stuff for me. Now, it's very brittle if you do it like that. It's very fragile. Sometimes it works great, sometimes it does not work. In order to always work great, you need to do your homework. Like, let's take that very specific example which converted stuff from Juniper to Cisco. In order for this to work, you should not use Claude AI directly. You should build a system. Within that system, you should provide for Claude AI for a way to search into the documentation of both Juniper and Cisco. Like, for example, the easiest way to do that is to create an MCP, a tool MCP, which has direct access to the documentation of Cisco and Juniper. And then when you ask Claude to do something, you should not rely on the information that is built in during the training. Instead, Claude AI needs to go to the current documentation, to the latest documentation, needs to fetch that section on that stuff, and just do it for you. Also, behind the hood in that system you're going to build, there are going to be prompts. Yes, prompt engineering. And here is another topic. It's going to be a large answer, but it was a complex question. For prompt engineering, I don't really think that prompt engineering is the way to go in 2025. It was the way to go in 2024. Now in 2025, the way to go is to build context. Instead of writing the best prompt in the world, whatever, you need to spend time with that LLM and brainstorm with it the way you would brainstorm with me. If you would ask me to solve a problem in your company, I'm not a network engineer. I know nothing on network engineering. So you would need to teach me, to train me. Well, man, I have this issue here. It's like in your programming when you have a bug there, I'm having this thing here, and here this documentation, please read to understand and go to Wikipedia. You would train me. It's exactly the same thing that you need to do with Claude AI before asking for an answer. You need to spend time, and the easiest way to do that is to invert the control to the AI. You need to do like that. Man, I need to work on this problem. We're going to talk, but please feel free to ask me questions until you have a very good understanding of what I need from you. And then Claude is going to ask you a lot of questions. And you're going to answer, and once you answer, your mind will get more clear. This is building context. And after 20 minutes of building context with that AI, the AI has a lot of knowledge. And at that point, if you ask the question, you will get the answer. Because the model is anchored in real data.
Other questions? Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.